Hola, buenos días, soy Nico.
Receipts, proof, timeline, screenshots, everything.
And today we're here to close out another wonderful week's worth of content. Well, yes, and always remember on this special Friday, be who you are for your pride. Nico, New York City parties this weekend. And I was actually going to cover an update on a story, but the person that I'm going to be talking about is in New York City right now, and I really do not want to get my ass beat on an off chance. So today we're going to be talking about 74 loads of laundry. Nico, what do you mean? Yes, there's been another scenario where someone has spent the weekend collecting multiple loads of laundry, if you know what I mean. Also, I don't know if you hear that siren, but there were no sirens until I sat down once again. Welcome to New York City. But before that, if you like this kind of content, make sure to follow me on patreon.com/Nicosaesthetics for more exclusive videos, weekly live streams, to be a part of the live streams where we have multifaceted conversations with a various panel depending on the week. If that sounds interesting to you, definitely tune in. And last video's comment was actually not about the Malik Joseph situation. It was actually pertaining to the intro of Austin Wolf, where it basically said the people that are still hoping that in 10 years, the minimum sentence, because the maximum is life, that Austin Wolf will return to adult film and be celebrated and welcomed back. Those are the ones that need to be studied, because honestly, if you can see that court case trial go through and him admit to trying to a 7-year-old and the parents were the ones that actively pressed charges against him, if you've seen the public testimonies from the people that have worked with him, if you've seen the court document showing that he had some disgusting videos on all of his hard drives, girl, you're a terrible person. I'm sorry, no one is that attractive that you ignore all of that. But let's get this out of the way so that we can move on to the actual topic. Today, we're going to be talking about a performer named, and I'm so sorry if I mispronounce your name, I do not know how to say this properly, Saad? I think it's Saad. So, I saw this story pop up because somebody tagged me, and I was basically going through the comments, and I thought it was interesting because it brings up a greater concern that a lot of people tend to ignore when we have these discussions about unprotected, unsafe, super happy adult fun time en masse. And I say that because most people, they have super happy adult fun time. And yes, once again, STDs and STIs can be caught and transmitted on the first encounter without protection. But it is being willfully obtuse to say, if you shag over 50 people in one weekend, you are at the same risk of catching an STD or STI because it only takes one time. That's being obtuse because you're putting yourself at more risk. So Saad basically came out and said the haters won because after 74 loads of laundry, he has a full body rash that a lot of people are trying to say seems like. And the natural reaction would be, okay, you need to go to the doctor, and I hope this was a learning lesson for you, because a lot of people seem to think these dumping situations where people collect multiple loads of laundry is filled with performers who get screened and tested, when in reality, it's somebody logging onto a site like Sniffies and saying, this is the room, I'm bent over, come in and do your due. That's literally drop off your load of laundry, let me do the laundry, and you walk off. So no, these people are not getting tested. Once again, because a lot of people seem to think, oh, if I saw it in a super happy adult fun time video, it must be professional grade. No, that's not how that works. So in this scenario, what was more concerning, because honestly, catching from this wasn't necessarily like shocking to me, but what was shocking was the reaction in the comments, basically saying, oh, well, I don't understand why y'all are trying to shame him. This is so sex negative, because at the end of the day, this can be cured, and a lot of STDs can be cured and or treated, so there shouldn't really be an issue. Y'all are just trying to slut shame him, and I'm so tired of y'all being ignorant. I'm so tired of y'all being ignorant for the sole fact that, first and foremost, if you catch a venereal disease, especially, it can cause major harm to your body. Yes, it can be cured and you won't, perish from it, but at the same time, it will wreak havoc on your body. And what you fail to realize is this mindset is what's causing super gonorrhea and super syphilis. Nico, I know, very comically named names, but These are syphilis strands and gonorrhea strands that are now resistant to antibiotics because people continuously have the mindset of, oh, if you catch it, it's no big deal. You just go get a shot of penicillin and boom, 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 bam, you're done. You're all good for the next round. No, this is literally causing antibiotic resistant strands of these infections. This is true. This isn't made up. So the thought process of throw all caution to the wind to fulfill a fantasy that is unsafe is ridiculous. And yes, somebody tried to say at the end of the day, your sexual health is your responsibility. You shouldn't shame him. You shouldn't judge him. But in this scenario, it is still important to say, yes, it is his responsibility. Yes, if he catches a resistant strand, then it is his problem to deal with. But at the end of the day, if we normalize the thought process of putting no form of protection in place, as in, because I'm not even one of those people that says you have to use, a contraceptive. My baseline is you need to get tested and you need to screen your partners. Anonymous dumping sessions of laundry is not safe whatsoever. It's not. No matter how you try to bend it, no matter how you try to rationalize it in your head, you're putting yourself and all of these people at risk, because at the end of the day, there is no way to do a follow-up with an anonymous laundry load dump. How are you supposed to find their laundry load ticket? How are you going to return their laundry? How are you going to let them know that something ripped in the washer? Like, girl, I need you to be for real. And this is me being honest with you, especially since it is Pride. I know there are going to be a lot of super happy adult fun time events. Nico, will I partake in any? Probably not. I'm not even in the mindset of that. But I'm here to tell you, it is important to at least screen your partner. Ask when they last got tested. If they flip out, because I understand a lot of people on apps for some reason, back when I used to be on them, because after I got banned from Jack, I haven't really been on apps. They like to go, okay, well, have you been tested recently? When was the last time you were screened? Oh, you're trying to say I have something blocked. If somebody blocks you for asking when you got tested, girl, you saved yourself the hassle. Because nobody, especially if they want unprotected, super happy adult fun time, should be upset that you're asking, what is your sexual health and status? It's really that simple. Oh, well, that's none. Yes, it is my business. If you're trying to enter my body without a form of protection, it is your duty to answer somebody's question. A lot of people like to use the loophole of, well, you didn't ask me. So sit down and ask. If they get an attitude, if they get upset, that means that they probably have something that they just don't want to disclose to you, because once they disclose it, if they are lying, you are legally liable. So girl, if somebody doesn't want to tell you, just block them and move on, because at this point, it's getting ridiculous, the hoops that a lot of people are trying to go through, because I'm very sex positive. I do adult films. I can't come on here and shame people for the act of super happy adult fun time, but it's important to be responsible with your body and your health, because you only get one body. You only get one chance. And yes, some STDs and STIs are curable. Some are not. And as we see the mindset of, oh, if you just catch it, go get a shot. It's not that big of a deal. Why are y'all causing a scene about trying to raise awareness of sexual health? Y'all are part of the problem. Y'all are the problem, because you're making resistant strands. But with that being said, I'm going to leave the conversation up to y'all. How do you feel about people no longer having any form of hesitation for STDs and STIs when it comes to screening their partners or doing anonymous sessions and not asking these follow-up questions, or questions you should be asking beforehand? Because what I've started to see is a lot of people have turned the sex positivity movement into a reckless, just abandonment to the wind kind of mentality, when that's not what this is supposed to be. It is supposed to be about enjoying super happy adult fun time. It's supposed to be about enjoying as much of it as you want, as long as you are taking some form of safety precautions. But with that being said, I'll see you guys next time. Boop. And now for a brief yet sincere shout out to this week's Third Eye Tier subscribers, Phoenix T and Tyrell JM. Thank you for your continued support, and thank you once again to everyone who supports the channel and all 45K girlies. And this week's slashing discussion is going to be over, does sexual health ruin the vibe, such as when you ask these questions on apps and you get blocked, or when you ask before the encounter and things get awkward. Why are people so afraid of testing? If that sounds interesting to you, definitely tune in. Before that, if you I'm so distracted because my pre-workout is kicking in.